Obviously, this is a heck of a day. What was your reaction when you heard the news that your son's being traded from the Cowboys to the Packers?
It's kind of bittersweet because, you know, he started off playing football for the Harrisburg Packers, and they wore green and yellow. So, you know, remember his grandfather who was a coach and everybody, his godfather, Coach Ham, Coach Charles Chisholm, who gave him the go ahead to play a year early because he was big. He didn't know what he was doing. He played for the Harrisburg Packers. So to start his career with my team, the Cowboys, and then, now to be with the Packers, I mean, that was fate. That was fate. That's where he's supposed to be at.
How did you find out about the trade?
Oh, family. We was all talking. I ain't think the news was going to break really until maybe this weekend or whatever. Coming today was a shock, but I mean, I heard Green Bay really wanted him, and was going to do about anything to get him, and here we are.
At what point in this week did you know that this was happening?
Yesterday was maybe 2 days ago. It was a lot of chatter. I just you know he always wanted to be a Cowboy. He wanted to end his career in Dallas, but I guess that wasn't the what they had in plan. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, from the I was and it being a Cowboy fan all my life. Certain things just kind of disturbed me through this process. Like when Stephen Jones said they signed Dak because he knew he wanted to be a Cowboy. They signed CD because they knew he wanted to be a Cowboy. What you saying about my son? Said on draft day, he's gonna cry if it's the Cowboys. When he played his last college game at Penn State in the Cotton Bowl, he said, "This is where I want to start my NFL career in Dallas." So to say that and then leave him out, that kind of let me know right there, like, yeah, this ain't gonna be it. I just held my tongue because I was like, let's see how I play out.
Is this surreal to think back to, Micah grew up rooting for the Cowboys, loving the Cowboys. You talk about the Cotton Bowl moment where he plays his last college game at AT&T Stadium at Jerry World, and then obviously the draft moment comes true. How shocking is it that here we are?
It's very shocking, you know. But it's business. It's business. I guess and I don't be knowing all the ins and outs, contracts, and all this and that. But I do know it's cheaper to sign somebody when they're at the top of the game early in their contract than to wait till someone's done. That costs you more. I think last year, if you'd have signed him, you probably could have got him for about 35 mil because it wasn't that high last year. But you knew it was going to get higher. Yes, sir.
Terrence, you're a little muffled sometimes. I don't know if your hand might be on the
Oh,
mic.
it might have been. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Um, have you had a chance to speak with Micah since this all happened?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago. He's excited. He's excited.
What were his emotions about this not working out with Dallas?
Um, More like I don't know what's going on. Like I thought they wanted me here. I thought we wanted him here. I never thought we were trading. I mean, it's generational talent. Usually don't trade away generational talent. And the way the market is, every year the market's going to go up if you're performing. So it's kind of smart to lock the deal in earlier rather than later.
Um, obviously, you know better than anybody else just how long he's been a Cowboys fan and how much of a Cowboys fan he's been his whole life. He said his
Mhm.
heart is still here in Dallas, even
It
post.
is.
How
That
much,
is.
how much did it mean to him to be a Cowboy, and how heartbroken do you think he is that he can't be a Cowboy for life?
I mean, I think I feel like he's more disappointed. He understands it's a business, and I know he loves the game of football more than anything else. So he wants to play, and he's always going to play at a high level. I mean, I thought he proved that, but I guess he wasn't worth the money to keep him.
I know you don't have all the ins and outs on the contract part of this, but just in your conversations with Micah, what is your main understanding of the biggest issue between himself and the Joneses that led to this moment?
I mean, I think it's just the contract talks. Like he's a player, he's not a contract guy, so you could talk to him about anything. When it comes down to the contract, that's what he pays his agent for. His
Was
agent, your agent's going to get the best deal for you.
in March, was there an issue with the money part of it in that conversation, or was really the issue was that Jerry would not listen to Mike as far as talking with David Mulligetta, his agent?
Um, I think it's all about getting what you're worth. You know, and there's a lot of great guys in the league, and they're at 40, 41 a year, and they're older than him, but he's on their level. So the market says a guy 26 on that level should get more than 41 a year, not less. So if why settle for less if you know you could get your value?
As far as the relationship with Micah and Jerry, it seemed like they had a really close relationship. And Jerry talked about that, at times, even this August, about how, they watched the Super Bowl together. Jerry picked him
Yeah,
up on the way. How have you seen that relationship seemingly deteriorate?
man, it just watching from the media, just how the conversation went, how he was talking, like if this is a guy that you value and you got love for, them conversations that you're having with people on the internet, whether it be for clickbait or that's how you really feel, that's not warranted. And I felt like they took too many cheap shots at my son.
Is that what he talked about? He felt like there were cheap shots and that really pushed him over the edge?
I mean, he ain't feel value. Like we've been here before. You see what I'm saying? Like at Central Dolphin, he wasn't valued. You know, they played him, but they didn't use him right. If you understand what I'm saying. Then when he came to Harrisburg, they used him. Like it's politics everywhere. Sometimes you gotta let the politics go and just be real. Hey, whatever it takes, we're keeping this guy here. He's a cornerstone. You know, but again, I guess they didn't feel that way when it comes down to it. When you
There's
go from saying you won't trade him till you end up trading him right before the season start, like, wow, that shocked the world.
When Micah made his trade request post, was he serious about that, or was that really just part of the game?
I mean, one thing I say about my son, he don't play games, so when that came out, that was to me, that was real. That's how he felt, you know. Because again, if you're not going, it's like a job. If you know you're deserving of a raise and you ain't gonna keep getting it, you're gonna find you a new job.
So he wanted this trade.
I mean, no, he wanted to be in Dallas. But if you're not gonna pay him what he's worth, then trade me. That's just that's just how it is. Like you can't expect again, people talk about 24, 25 mil a year. Okay. That's a lot of money to the average American. But to these guys that's out here putting their body on the line, with all the physical ailments that can happen, the injuries that can happen, you ain't trying to play on no 1 year deal. You want job security. It's like a 401k. You put money into your 401k to build up for when you're done. You need job security. And 1 year deals ain't job security.
Jerry had talked about, and I I super appreciate your time. I know you weren't like in the middle of all these types of conversations. He threw out the number at one point during training camp of 200 million. That was the figure that he had ballpark offered Micah back in March. Do you have any understanding that that was a real ballpark of what Micah was being offered?
I mean, I'm not sure. I can't speak on that, but like I tell my friends around here, like you could offer him 300 million. What's the guarantee? How much you going? That's what it comes down to, the guarantee. You know, if the guarantee ain't right, then we're not. You're just not gonna sign it just to sign it.
Yeah. Such a big issue, it seemed, for Micah with how the Joneses proceeded in this whole situation was that they never spoke with David Mulligetta. Um, to your knowledge, did the Joneses ever speak with Micah's agent?
From my knowledge, I'm gonna say no.
Never.
From my knowledge, I'm not saying it's true or not, but this is. I mean, just looking at everything, I would say no, only because again, if you want this kid here, but you're gonna do everything to keep this man here, you
Mm.
know, even after the trade talks and all that, like they went to him last year to try to get a deal done, but they was like, nah, just go in and wait, and
Um,
you could play on the 5th year option, but there's nothing guaranteeing you a contract in your 6th year. Then they can franchise tag you for a year, then turn around franchise tag you again. Now you're at year 7. Where's your job security at?
right. Um, as far as um, I know, you're a longtime Cowboys fan. Are you still a Cowboys fan?
That's yet to be determined. I've been loyal to all my teams, but it's going to be interesting.
Will you and the rest of the family be there in late September when the Packers and Micah come here to play the Cowboys?
I definitely will be there.
What do you think that will feel like?
It's a homecoming. It's a homecoming. Yep, it's a homecoming. Because in the beginning, I wasn't going to make that game due to some other obligations, but now I'm going to be there for that. I won't miss that.
What for you and Micah and the whole family? What's the prevailing emotion about how this all went down? Is it anger? Is it sadness? What is it?
It's a little bit of everything, because everybody's in Dallas. I'm still here in PA. I'm still coaching everything. So it kind of breaks up the family dynamic a little bit, you know, with everybody being around all the time. But that's a part of growing up.
And he says he still will make Dallas his offseason
Oh,
home.
Dallas is his home.
And that must just speak to how much he loves the community and life here. Can you speak about how he's fallen in love with this place and how hard that part of this is?
Oh man, listen, he already know. He said if I get traded, don't matter. Dallas is my home. Dallas is my home. He's not. He's there. 6 months he'll be in Green Bay. I guess 6 months he'll be in Dallas, but he's not leaving Dallas. He's gonna go to work. He's gonna go to work, and then he's gonna come home.
Do you remember what it was like when Luka got traded in February?
Yes,
Does this feel like that?
yeah, because it was like, wow, where did that come from? Where did that come from? So yeah, that was just like, whoa.
I know I've asked a few emotional questions. I'm going to wrap it up here because this has been really awesome to chat with you. I know it's a hard day. I know you're not down here. I know you're not with Mike on the day to day, but just given how much we've seen and heard from him about how much he wanted to be here, has he shed any tears over this situation?
Uh, oh, he might have had a few emotional, you know what I mean? Like, man, but you know, for his family, you know, he's happy. I mean, he made it. I mean, his agent, I mean, feel like he's the best in the game before Micah. Like every guy that he represented, in their position almost broke, set the market or got top dollar. So evidently, he must know what he's doing.
Well, one of the fascinating things with this whole story too, and Micah spoke to this, back when he put out that trade request post, is he has said, he said even last fall, and then he said this summer that there were points where he wanted to get a deal done early and he was willing to take less. What do you remember about that?
Yeah, I mean, he said, I don't gotta be the highest paid. You know, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to get people around me. I mean, he even jokingly said when Miles Garrett was out there, "Hey, go get Miles Garrett." Hey, only thing is, if you give him 38, I need 38.5. you know? So it's like, you know, but I mean, it's hindsight now, but in reality, I mean, again, I don't know the business like that, but me on the outside looking in, I'd have signed him next year. Because I remember when, was it Carson Wentz with the Eagles? Was it the second year? They redid his deal?
Maybe. I don't
Or
remember.
third year? It was early though. He was looking good, and they redid his joint early, and they saved so much money on the back end by signing him early.
I'm trying to think. I had one more question I wanted to ask you. I'm going to let you go. Um, Micah obviously is a big personality, and we're going to miss that. I can promise you that. Um, he's been bold, I think, off the field in certain ways as far as, chasing down other things he's interested in, like the podcast and some of the other interests he has, that we've
Mm-hmm.
gotten to follow through social media. I know that leadership recently has been like a big focus of his. And, he said that the meeting in March with Jerry was really a lot about leadership, or that was like the intent of it. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
any moments where there was like a breaking point type situation between the team and Micah over his off-field lifestyle and habits?
I mean, I used to see people post stuff and this, that, and the third, but my thing is, why we worry about what somebody's doing on their free time? He ain't doing drugs. He ain't out here partying, popping bottles. He's either working out or with his family. If you want to do a podcast, and like I tell people, the difference between this era of football players and 30, 40 years ago, they try to prepare for life after football while they're playing, which is a smart thing to do. Because I see some guys play, and when their seasons, when it's over, it's over. Great players, you barely see or hear from them. You want to be relevant. You want to be able to be on top of your game. So when offers land in your lap, you gotta take the promotion as they come.
But to your
And the
knowledge,
podcast,
sorry, to
oh,
your
go ahead.
knowledge, was there ever a time the team took a serious issue with him over those types of things?
I won't say a team. I know I forget the one player. He had something to say. He posted something. I can't think of his name, but he had posted something about him about his podcast, what he do. But my son works out every day. He trains like he just don't sit around. Like he works on his craft every day, and like I feel like each year he improves. You know, can everybody say that?
No. So the Joneses, the front office, they never came to him with any kind of issue or edict about any of that?
Not to my knowledge.
And all this, I think one of the craziest things, and this will be my last one, I'll let you go. We're out there at training camp in Oxnard. I was texting you from there.
Hmm.
for training camp, and Mike is 20 feet away from Jerry. Did that almost kind of shock you guys and madden you guys that they're like so close, but yet clearly they're like so far they just can't talk?
Nah, it's business, you know. When it's time to talk, it's time to talk.
Um, and the moment last weekend at the game, I know he caught some flack for that. Did he have any regrets over the table moment or the jersey thing?
Nah, you know, I feel like people put too much into it. It wasn't like he laid on the thing the whole game,
No.
you know. But they took that picture, a little bit of video, and just made, you know. And that's what we had to learn about the media. And he knew from an early age, the media would take something and run with it. You know, you can't worry about it. Just gotta let them do what they do. They trying to make money. They need clickbait, you know, and they got a lot of clickbait off of that.
Mm. Is there anything else important or meaningful you think to this whole story and situation that we don't necessarily know about that you think is worth knowing?
Nah, not. I mean, besides put back on the same colors he started with, that's a surreal moment. You know, Packer Jacks, are you ready? You know, that was the, you know, so like I said, it's crazy though, because that's where he started in green and gold. That's
Wow.
in his career in green and gold. So it's a surreal moment. You know, everything happens for a reason. You know, I was blessed. He played at my high school, played at my favorite college team, got drafted to my favorite NFL team. Now he's going back home where it started. I played for the Packers growing up. He played. Now he's going to end playing with the Packers.
And what level was that again? That was Pee Wee?
Pee Wee, up.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Terrence. I super appreciate this, man. It's good to meet you. I wish it wasn't under this circumstance. I wish we were working on a Cowboys Micah story. So,
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought was going to happen too, but it didn't go. It didn't go that way.
do you it might take digging through the archives. Any chance you'd have like photos from him from those Pee Wee Packer days?
I'm more likely I do. I definitely got to find him. Give me like a day or so, you know, to really get a look at some more stuff.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And let's stay in touch. And good luck with your fantasy draft tonight.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Terrence. Bye.